I'm Ballast. She's Lashing. And this is Between the Bulkheads with Parlay. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about questions we get asked out on the road.
Yeah, a little housekeeping right now. We're going to be doing videos once a month, so be sure to check back on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, ring that bell, and come back and see as we do this more often. We'll definitely start with once a month. We'll see how that goes, and maybe we'll start doing more. In the meantime, when you're waiting for our videos to post, also sign up for our newsletter. That also comes out once a month. We do not spam. Head out to our website, www.parlay8.com. Scroll down and subscribe and check out us when we do our monthly updates. And last but not least, we also have a blog on our website. This past month's blog is based on hand-sewn, hand-stitched, handmade, homemade. So we'll actually touch on a little bit of that later in the episode. So it's a good read. Check it out. Go comment, and we'd love to hear what your thoughts are on those things. This month's whole idea of common questions we're asked when we're doing our reenacting or any of this, where did that mostly come from?
Well, I think it mostly comes from people's idea of a pirate and Hollywood. We get a lot of those, the R and all that. As far as the questions go, there's a lot of them that we get that are pretty repetitive. It's kind of the same thing, especially when we're reenacting, because most of our reenacting is done in the summertime when it's really hot out. So of course you get the, are you hot? And
first question we ask back is, are you
hot? Because if you're hot, you know damn well we are.
And it's not just because of the clothing we're wearing. It's actually because it's just hot. And it's Virginia. It's the humidity, and it's just hot. And it's not necessarily about what we're wearing. Actually, I will post some good videos from other YouTube vloggers. I've done some pretty awesome things. Abby Cox is one. She actually, with her friends, did an experiment of them out in Las Vegas of wearing historical reenacting clothes and how they handled the heat versus going and wearing today's modern clothes. So it was very interesting. And the big thing that you take away from that is layers and also the type of materials. So a lot of our clothing nowadays is polyester or a mix of polyester. Even jeans aren't really the best breathable clothing. Cotton obviously is the best thing you all like. I mean, think about when you're wearing t-shirts during the summer.
And honestly, being uncovered in today's clothing makes you hotter. We don't want to give away too many of the things. You need to check out Abby Cox's video because it's really interesting. She covers all of that, and you're going to be surprised at the results. It's pretty cool.
And a lot of the materials we do use when we do the historical aspect of it, when we go out and do our reenacting. We do have cottons, linens. As you can see that we normally wear our shirt with a waistcoat over it. And even then you'll see sometimes, especially him, wearing his frock coat out in the summer, just for the multiple layers of clothing. And then you got our slops, which are the wide leg things that you see sailors wore back in the 17th and 16th century and 18th century. And you think about with the wide legs, kind of like bell bottom. It's very breathable. You have that air circulation coming in there.
Exactly, because a lot of them didn't wear undergarments. So with the big open legs, the breeze came up and cooled off the nether regions.
So the next most common question that we get is, where do you get your costumes from? First off.
Well, yeah. We'll go with the first part of that because I know exactly where you're going with this.
First off, anybody who does historical reenacting or makes their own stuff and it wears it just other than Halloween, we don't call it costumes. We call it kit, we call it garb, we call it clothing because this is what you like to wear. It's not a costume back in the early centuries and all that. So to all those of us who wear it and wear it very frequently, it's not a costume to us. It's
not a costume.
We got a closet of our kit and clothing for historical and stuff. It's not all historical.
We look at it a different way because we're reenactors. When you're in that mindset, these are our clothes. It's not a costume. It's what we wear, and it's what somebody in that time period would have worn as their clothing.
PSA though. Not everything we have is historically accurate. Let's just get that right.
Well, yes, that is true.
What you see what we here are wearing, everything we are wearing is what I make. I make everything. I don't hand sew. I homemade. Go in a dictionary, and this is my blog this month. Go read into it. I have very thorough definitions on all these things. But you got the hand stitch, hand sewn, handmade. All three of those things literally mean by hand, no tool to assist in. So a sewing machine immediately takes out the definition of all three of those things. Yeah, so the costumes, our kit and garb, obviously when we're doing the reenacting, is more historical side, although we do have fun with it, with the colors and everything. It's, embodying being a pirate. It's about having fun. So, but so are you hot? And where did your costumes come from? Obviously, they're kind of intertwined with each other. One of the two most common questions we get.
Is that real food?
Oh, God.
Is that a real fire?
Our kitchen cook loves this question. Yes, we do get asked, is that real food? I like the one if it's real fire. You're like, go try it out.
Yeah, stick your hand in it. You'll find out. And yes, they are real food and real fire.
Well, when you're doing it for a full weekend, you gotta need to eat at some point. So we're grateful to have a cook with us on most of our trips, where she takes care of us. Or we'll have snacks out on the bar near our fly, and just when we're sitting there interacting with the crowd. And yes, we've had people actually come up and try to take our food, thinking it was part of the setup. And it's kind of hard to be nice and also shoo people away.
Yeah.
We've had people where we said no and they thought we were joking. Because they're like, no, that's not real. No, that's real food. No, it's not. Or it's interesting.
It's real food, but it's not for you, fella.
Yeah.
Because we only brought so much to feed our crew.
And water. The other one is when we're drinking water in our canteens or in our tin cups or pewter mugs. Or like, is that rum? No, it's water.
How much rum you got in there?
Yeah.
Like, during the day, no.
Well, it's hydrate. You have to hydrate in that heat. And it's
when
the
it's
same.
95 degrees out, probably, the last thing you want to do is be drinking rum
That would make you
during the day in the sun.
hydrate really fast.
Yeah.
I don't think and even back then, they didn't drink rum during the day. A lot of the rum was just mixed enough in the water to kill whatever was in there. And even before
Grog,
before they realized that was beneficial, it was more just to
and it
give
helped
them around.
help the rum last longer too. So when they really did want to drink some rum, they had some left to drink.
Yeah. But obviously with the real food, with feeding us, that means we're kind of there for a long term. And the other part is that we have a full encampment up. Full encampment means we have a tent, we have our cots, obviously kitchen, and none of that. People come around like, did you sleep here last night? Are you really going to sleep here tonight? You didn't sleep here last night, did you?
We didn't bring this tent just to look at it.
Wait a minute. you camp out in this? People must forget what it's like to camp. It's no different from like regular tent camping.
It's a little sparse, but we still bring everything we need to camp with and get through a weekend. So
yeah, including cots. We do have bedding. We actually started bringing an air mattress. It's really thin, and it sits on top of our cots. And if we don't have our cots, it could sit on the ground. And we put our bedding right on top of it, so you'll never know.
we hide it.
It's
You gotta have some creature comforts. We're not getting any younger,
well, it's not just that. It's that back then they would have had hay or something else. We don't have that when
Access
we
to
travel.
other things that would soften your bed that we just don't roam around farms and steal hay before we go to an event.
And
so.
I think that'd be really messy to be bringing it every event. Like the hay would be in the truck, in the house, everywhere, because obviously we've got to transport somewhere. So that would be like a nightmare to be cleaning. But yeah, we what you see here is our encampment. We have what's called a baker's tent. And what's really awesome about this baker's tent is that front fly. And it's not so much of the period of the Golden Age piracy. It's a little bit later, more French and Indian War. But the curtains open wide up.
Mm-hmm. And we originally got it because we were going to use it to vend, because a tent like that is easier to vend out of. So we did it that way on purpose. Then we got into the reenacting, and it kind of evolved into the tent we use when we go reenacting, and we like it a lot, so we're keeping it.
It's not the most waterproof thing in the world, I will say that.
I think a wedge tent is in our future, which
Well,
is what most everyone else
yeah.
uses.
Wedge tent with waterproof and fire retardant fabric, because when we made that bigger set, it was just secondhand canvas we had happened to get our hands on. We were desperate for a tent because we had just started reenacting, and we had this glorious idea to make our own tent. So in fact, everything in that picture you guys saw of our campsite, everything in there has been handmade. Okay, homemade. Because you used power tools or some of it.
Yeah, I did.
But
It's
everything in there is made by this man, Dallas. And it's all out of necessities. Every time we did a weekend event, it ended up becoming something else that we needed. The cots
We lived and learned.
Cots were the first thing we did.
Yeah.
I think.
Sleeping on the ground's not so bad if you have a mattress, but we wanted cots to stay up off the ground.
That was like even before our first reenacting thing that we did. We loved camping, so that kind of filled that gap in. I mean,
because we do a lot of camping now.
Now we do. We were sitting there complaining like, "Oh, we don't do any more camping. I miss
No,
camping."
It's once or twice a month, pretty much
for the whole April to September.
Yeah.
And then living in, I come home sometimes after work and I go lounge in my slops, my pirate pants. They're just so comfortable. Even after a weekend or anything, it's just, I find this quite more comfortable than some of the modern day clothing.
I totally don't mind wearing this out.
Yeah.
We kind of did a little bit recently.
Yeah.
So, and of course, you get looks and people give you a smile, or the old R.
Before events, when we're running around and getting ready, we're in our kit normally when we go drive to an event. So we stop by the grocery store, we stop by gas stations. Our local grocery store is pretty used to us. They don't even bat us look now when we come in there. They're just so used to it by now. Mm-hmm. That is pretty much our most common questions that we have been asked when we go do our reenacting and our weekends. So this idea came from a recent trip I made out to Arizona. I had some coworkers ask me who Parlay it was, which we talked about last month. But explaining Parlay, and it was definitely out of the blue statement to catch people off guard when you say, yeah, we're a tailor and carpenter who entrepreneur and creates piratical, what was the term?
Items.
Piratical items of necessity. Acquisition? I don't remember what the full phrase was, but I'm going to post it right here. Right down there is what we actually came up with and wrote it. And we drew a blank. So, but yeah, this is this month's episode. So come back. Be sure to like the video. Subscribe to Parlay Pirates channel. Also, we're very interested in hearing some common questions that you are asked.
Yeah.
When you're dressed as a pirate, or if you are a reenactor, what happens when you go out reenact?
Or if you go to the run fair.
Or you go to the run fair. Be very interested to hear what people come up and say to you that are just totally caught off the blue with you. So, until next month, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.